Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, in today's episode, we're going to take a look at Flagstar Bank. That's right, they're a smaller bank, but they have a full credit card catalog full of personal and business cards. So on today's show, we'll break down both of them. I'll tell you what's included in each card. Of course, a little bit of history about Flagstar to get to know them better. Then we'll come out on the other end and decide who these cards are best for, and they should warrant a spot in your wallet. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button. Let's get to work. Okay, so first things first, let's get to know Flagstar a little bit better as a bank. So Flagstar Bank, headquartered in Troy, Michigan. Shout out, I've actually been to this campus before. They were founded as First Security Savings Bank in 1987, changed the name to Flagstar after a series of mergers in 1996. Currently, they have total assets of about $31 billion. That was as of December of 2020. And most recently, New York Community Bank is acquiring Flagstar in an all-stock strategic merger, and that was announced on April 26th of this year, of course, because you have to throw the buzzword strategic in there. So that's a little bit about the bank. So now that we know about them, let's take a look and see how their cards work. Then we'll start with the personal cards. So as I said at the top of the show, they have personal and business cards. Now there are points earning cards, but it's basically cash back. You can redeem for cash back, merchandise, gift cards, and travel. Now some of their cards, particularly on the business side, I did see some that said you must use your points within 5 years of earning. So that's more than enough runway to use them, though I do take a point off every time I see points that expire. So now, funny enough here, the points program is not actually run through Flagstar. It's actually run through Elan Credit Card. So Elan Credit Card is kind of like a third-party company that comes in, works with card issuers. So the cards and the lending is still done by Flagstar, but the points program is run by Elan. So I'll put some screenshots up of Elan, but when you take a look at what they offer, you can see it's almost a direct one-to-one from the cards that we're going to get into. So I thought that was interesting. They don't really call it out because I'm reading through the terms and conditions. I keep seeing reference Elan Rewards Program. Like, what is that? So I had to Google it and find out. So we'll also touch on this a little bit on the back end. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at the credit cards themselves. And we're going to go through the typical slides here, but before I show them, I just want you guys to know I did not get lazy. Every single one of their cards looks the exact same. So the screenshot you see on screen now, this young lady's holding that silver Flagstar card. That's the card art they have for every single one of their cards on the personal side, and the business is very similar. So I'm not getting lazy on my slides here, but that's why you have the same card. So let's jump into it now, starting with the classic secured card. So secured card here, you can see the classic Flagstar design. Again, get used to it. No annual fee, no multipliers to be had. So the benefits here are basically how the secured card works. You can open a secured savings account with a minimum deposit of $300. Now, the savings account balance will become your credit limit. That can go all the way up to $5,000. Next up, we have the college real reward. So no annual fee. Multipliers here can be 1.5x on all purchases. Now we have, of course, the classic and cliched platinum card. You know how I love it when banks use the platinum card. So no annual fee. Multipliers here, none to be had. But the benefits are going to be that 0% APR for the first 20 billing cycles on purchases and balance transfers. Moving on to the Real Rewards card. Again, very similar to the college rewards, no annual fee, and multipliers can be 1.5x on all purchases. And next up, we have an interesting one here. This is the Max Cash Preferred card. Annual fee here is $0. The multipliers here are going to be 5x on combined $2,000 in spend per quarter on a category of your choice. So the categories you have are 3 home utilities, cell phone providers, TV, internet, and streaming. In addition to that, you can also get 2x back unlimited cash back in your choice of category: gas stations and ground transportation, restaurants and food delivery, or grocery delivery. So that'll do it for the personal cards. Now we jump to the business side of the house, and we do switch colors, at least for the card. Instead of a silver, steel, slate gray one, we now have a brown or copper type color. It's not awesome, but hey. We have my favorite name here, the business card. Annual fee, $0. No multipliers to be had, and the benefits here are going to be 0% APR on your first 20 billing cycles on purchases and balance transfers. Next up, we have the business cash card, another no annual fee card. Your multipliers here are going to be 3x on office supplies, cell phone, landline even if you're really old school, internet and cable, and 2x back on restaurants and gas stations. Next up, we have the business real rewards card, so no annual fee card. Multipliers here 1.5x on all purchases. And then we have the business rewards card, an annual fee of $95, believe it or not, but that is waived in year one. Now your multipliers here are going to be 2x on your top 2 spend categories each month. Now, what are the categories, you might be asking yourselves? Well, they don't actually tell you. In fact, if you go through the terms and conditions, it actually gives you a link to go to look at the categories, but that link is basically taking you to your account. So, I couldn't really find them. Then I thought about it. I was like, why put in the work? This card sucks. No one should pay $95 for this anyway. So the categories don't really matter, but I just think it's interesting that they just can't tell you the categories, even though they tell you the categories on other cards we just talked about. And so either way, guys, there we have it. That is a full look at the Flagstar 2021 credit card catalog for both personal and business. So, it's funny, when I was going through this originally, the thing or the word that kept coming to mind was lazy, honestly. Because if you look at even the pages, the page layouts for the credit cards, they're lazily done. The fact that they don't have card art for any of the cards, kind of lazy. Granted, I know it's kind of hypocritical because I wear the same shirt every single time, but I'm not most people, and most things aren't made for me, so I thought that was interesting. And then you talk about the partnership with Elon Rewards program, kind of outsourcing their cards, and then it kind of makes sense why it seems lazily done. Flagstar kind of strikes me as the bank that has the cards because they know they need to cross-sell to, their existing banking customers, but they don't really want to be bothered with it. I mean, even if you look at the pages, and I say they're pretty lazily done because even the sign-up bonuses are kind of buried down in a bullet point. They're like the third or fourth bullet point. Most card issuers, the sign-up bonus is front and center in your face. Here's what you're going to get. Here's why you want to use the card. Even that last business card with a $95 annual fee, they couldn't even be bothered to tell us the categories that we could be eligible for. So across the board, I think it's very lazily done. Now, the reason we do these videos where we take a look at smaller banks that are not covered as much is for 3 reasons. So number one, if you search YouTube, there's not a lot of coverage on these banks, so that's definitely a potential win for the channel if we're just being honest. Number two, because folks who are banking with Flagstar do need an answer and want to search for this. And number 3, for credit card enthusiasts, these banks don't get covered a lot, so sometimes we can find a diamond in a rough, to borrow a cliche. So let me talk to the Flagstar people first, and then we'll talk to the credit card enthusiasts. Now, if you're a Flagstar fan, you bank with them currently, and you're considering these cards, quite honestly, I would tell you just to go somewhere else. The 1.5x card might not sound bad, but 2% is the table minimum. Wells Fargo Active Cash, Citi Double Cash, SoFi, Fidelity, you name it, you can find a card that gives you 2% back. Sometimes with even better benefits. Wells Fargo, I think, gives you cell phone protection at least. SoFi has no foreign transaction fees. So things like that. Now, the Max Cash Rewards card is interesting at 5%. However, again, if you're not a credit card enthusiast, you're only going to have 1 or 2 cards. Their 5X categories are kind of limiting. I like them because we don't see home utilities a lot. I can only think of one other card, the US Bank Cash Plus card, that has home utilities. Cell phone's pretty good as well. Especially if you have a family plan, cell phones can get quite expensive. But I would also encourage you maybe to look at the Citi Custom Cash. Again, it's $1,500 a quarter, but it's a little bit different of a setup. You get one category that you can earn 5x back in, and it's based on the one you spend the most in each month. So $500 over 3 months comes out to $1,500. Yes, you're losing $500 earning potential, but they have much more robust categories. And again, you can also pick it just by going into each month with a strategy. So for those reasons, I would really consider looking elsewhere if you are with Flagstar. You can still bank with Flagstar, but your credit card needs will be better served elsewhere. So the Flagstar customer taken care of, now onto the credit card enthusiast. And you guys probably saw there is one card of interest there, the Max Cash Rewards card, their 5% category card. Now I know, why is it an option if you just bashed it for the Flagstar folks? Well, for the credit card enthusiasts out there, you probably have multiple cards, and you're probably trying to get 5x back on everything. I have the full video where I said, can you earn 5x back on all the things? I'll link it down below. So for this card, this could definitely be a pickup to fit a niche category, right? So home utilities, for example, you could cover with this card. Now, the US Bank Cash Plus card, again, has home utilities as well, but the Cash Plus card has many, many more 5x categories available to the card holder, so that could free up the Cash Plus to cover something else. So that, I could see their potential use case for the Max Cash Rewards card in that specific case. But if you're not that person, if you're not trying to build out a 5x all the things wallet setup, then for everyone else, I'd say, again, just kind of look elsewhere. Overall, Flagstar, I see what they're doing, how they've outsourced it, but there's just better options to be had. So anyways, guys, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, of course, with a Sunday recap episode. There's all the news you can use in the world of credit and finance. My question for you guys is, let me know what you think about the Flagstar cards and their catalog. Would you consider using the Max Cash Rewards card to round out a 5x strategy? Or what other cards would you consider or recommend to those banking with Flagstar who are in need of credit card products? Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.